Good morning. Welcome to Coffee with Chase, October 2nd. Today we have a new coffee on the menu. So yesterday we finished off the Colombian from Blueprint Roasting in St. Louis. And you might have seen in that previous video that there was another bag sitting there that was just recently opened. This is a natural process Ugandan coffee from Huckleberry Roasters in Denver, Colorado. We picked this up when we were out there for a wedding, and I'm very excited for this coffee. Fun packaging, not a whole lot of information on the bag. We're kind of just gonna get straight into it. Go ahead and measure out our dose. With this being a new coffee, over the next few days, we'll get to see a little bit more of a dial-in process compared to the last coffee I'd pretty much already dialed in and was just pulling the last shot of. So looking at these beans, they're not ultra light. I'd say that's a pretty evenly roasted medium all the way across. So I'll be going after a pressure profile that suits that coffee. But I'm gonna try and keep it fairly standard for our first shot today. And then we'll taste it and see what we need to change. See if maybe we need a different profile, maybe we need a different temperature, maybe we need probably a different grind size, probably a different brewing ratio. I kind of have no idea where to start grind size for this coffee, so it's kind of a shot in the dark. Just for kicks and giggles, I'm gonna start at 10. It's a nice round even number. You're gonna see a lot of the same puck prep today as we did yesterday. In general, I do pretty much the same puck prep for every coffee. It helps with consistency. It's just something that I try to keep super standard. I like grinding into another container rather than right into the portafilter because I think it helps get rid of some of the like fluffy static that can make finely ground coffee difficult to work with. And then doing a WDT in the portafilter for better distribution and getting rid of any clumps. And then maybe a tap on the counter just to settle the grounds in so that I can fit the tamper in without getting coffee everywhere. And then a self-leveling tamp, I think, makes our job a lot easier. As for what preset to start with, I'm really not sure where to go. This decent D1 XL espresso machine is still pretty new to me, and I'm learning the ins and outs of it. I was recommended by another user on the forum that they really liked that LRV2 profile, which is why I was using it with the previous coffee. But I've also tried this profile with coffees in the past and it hasn't gone very well. So I don't know where to go. I'm sort of interested in these blooming espressos. This is what Scott Rayo was really into when he first got a hold of a decent espresso, was doing these blooming shots. You can see in the profile here where there's kind of a high flow to start to saturate the puck, and then there's no flow for a good long time while the coffee absorbs that water and blooms in the portafilter just like a pour over, and then ramping up that flow again and ending the shot. So I think just for sake of experimentation, I'm gonna use this profile, but I'm gonna stop at 36 grams out. That way we're just doing a straight up 1:2 ratio, and then we can always adjust from there. So we've got a blooming espresso profile. Looks like temperature on this is gonna be, what's main water brewing at? Main water is brewing at 92 Celsius. Pre-wet at 100, probably just to get stuff to come up to temp. Okay, so our limit is at 36 grams out. I'm gonna lock in my portafilter. I've got this cute little demi from Italy that I got as a gift. Let's brew. That pause time is always so concerning to me because it seems like forever. Now it's looking like maybe we ground too fine. I think what Scott Rayo recommends is that during this pause, you should have like 4 grams of liquid out before it starts ramping back up, and we had nothing out. So I'm not sure the coffee was ground coarse enough for water to be able to get in and saturate the whole puck during that blooming process. But we'll have to taste and see, you know, taste is king. No matter if we had 4 grams out or 0 grams out. Okay. Looks like we stopped at 38 grams out in the portafilter. Looks really nice. Beautiful crema. Do our cleanup. Now I'm trying to figure out, as this season goes forward, there are probably going to be times when I'm away for a weekend and not at my espresso machine, and I'm not sure what the content is gonna look like. I'm not sure if I'll try to replicate the same content, but with you know, like an AeroPress or something, because I'm not gonna take my espresso machine with me for every little weekend trip that I go on, but I'm gonna have to figure out something for keeping the content going. I don't really want to pre-film episodes. That just doesn't feel like it's in the spirit of the monthly video. At least to me, like, the spirit of this month is to make something every day. So I don't want to like make 3 things in one day and use that to post for days when I'm not able to make things. I want to like force myself to make things on those other days. But we will see. These first couple days have been easy for me because I've been off of work, but I normally work 12-hour shifts. So it will probably prove to be a little difficult to film and edit and post these on my working days. Tomorrow will be my first day back at work. So we will definitely see how that goes. I might end up having to film this at like 5 a.m. and then edit it later in the evening. We'll see. But this is a natural process Ugandan from Huckleberry. Smell, Not a whole lot. Let's have a taste. Cheers. Okay. Bit harsh. A lot of astringency, like my mouth is really dried out from that shot. A lot of bitterness. I can taste some sweetness. Man, the bag says Concord grape, and I can already taste like a bit of that Concord grape. But this shot was just pulled so poorly. Super bitter, super concentrated, super astringent. Like barely tasting any of the sweetness or character of the coffee. And that's to be expected if I, judging based on here, we can go and look at this profile in the notes here. This technique caused a furor when Rayo first published it. His extraction of 24% is 2% higher than what's usually attainable. So this is intended to be a high extraction profile. This technique is especially appropriate for lightly roasted, complex, and expensive coffee beans. So this profile might not be appropriate for what I would say is a pretty down the middle medium roast on this Ugandan coffee. It would maybe be better suited for a lighter coffee, but we'll try it again tomorrow and see what we think. If you have a Bluetooth scale, you can keep track of how much dripping there is in the cup before the ramp. 8 grams of total dripping within 2 grams seems to give the best tasting results. So I expect that for tomorrow, we will need to grind a bit coarser. I might go for like a setting 12 on the niche and see what we get. Right off the bat, my goal is going to be to get that 8 grams of total dripping before the ramp, or within 2 grams, as they say. And from there, we'll taste and adjust for taste. So thank you for joining me for the second episode of Coffee with Chase, season 2. I hope you guys are enjoying the new format. I will continue to work with camera setup and audio as we go and try to dial that in. But at the end of the day, my first priority is making sure that the coffee stuff goes well. So thank you for joining me. Cheers.